Let's come to the penultimate part of this interview, and I want to talk about China because whoever I spoke to, once I told them that I'm interviewing General Naravane, everybody told me in unison, former army personnel and my colleagues as well, that you must ask him about China. There are two very clear questions that I have about China, and I'm asking that as a layman. You were, of course, in the hot seat in 2020. A basic question that occurred to me is why was China or what was China trying to do what they did in 2020? What was their intention when you were in that hot seat? What was your analysis? And the second part is, as a section of commentary in India would claim that India has lost territory to China. How accurate do you think these statements are?
Let me kill that second point first. No territory has been lost whatsoever. And unnecessarily, this point is being raised again and again and again. The Prime Minister of the country has said no territory has been lost. The Defense Minister has said that. The Army Chief has said that. If you don't want to believe anyone, I cannot make you change your views. But let me categorically say, without any doubts in my mind, that no territory was lost. So let me put that to rest once and for all. Now, as far as these issues on the boundary are concerned, we have to understand that this is a more than 3,000 kilometer long undemarcated boundary. And in this 3,000 kilometer boundary, both sides have different claims. We feel that the boundary runs at a certain point. China feels that the boundary runs at a different point. So, those overlapping claim lines are where these disputes arise. And these disputes have been happening in the past and will happen in the future till such time that this boundary question is not resolved again through talks. No, you can't say that China did this, so you don't talk to them. How will you resolve the problem? You have to resolve the problem through talks, and through these talks, arrive at a boundary which recognizes the legitimate concerns of both sides. And towards that end, in 2004 or 2005, there was an agreement signed between China and India. It was called the Political Parameters and Guiding Principles for the Resolution of the China India boundary dispute, boundary question, not even dispute. Even the heading did not call it a dispute, it called it a question, boundary question. And in that political parameters and guiding principle, three, four very good points were given that uh, as and when these negotiations happen, the importance of geographical features will be kept in mind. The interests of settled populations on both sides of the boundary will be kept in mind, and so on and so forth. There are three, four key points which actually form the framework on which to build and carry forward these negotiations. So these negotiations have to be done. You have to talk to be able to solve a problem. We as a country have always said that resolve your differences through dialogue, not through uh, unilateral use of force. And that has
Right.
always been our endeavor that the force should be the last resort. First, talk and try and resolve things. So, once again, the talks on this boundary question are happening between the special representatives of both the countries. On our side, it is our NSA, and from their side, it is their foreign minister, Mr. Wang Yi. So these talks will happen, and the more you talk, the more the differences get narrowed down. If you don't talk, you will always remain far apart. As you talk differences, and then ultimately you will find and come to a solution which is acceptable to both sides. And one must always remember that for a settlement to be successful, it must be win-win. Both sides must think that we have walked away the winner. Only then are negotiations successful.
Absolutely.